What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Batman Beyond number 17, and this is part of the long payback storyline, but it should be called the long payoff, because I want to say this story arc's been going on for this is probably the fourth issue, and it's like a slow burn. Like, I feel it building. And I feel it building. And that's all right. That is 100% okay, because it's not like I feel like it's stagnant. Stuff is happening. But in the background, they are laying the groundwork for some interesting developments, including some that I speculated a while back. And again, after reading this issue, I am 99% sure will happen. So the story thus far, Terry kind of, I want to say not like coming out of retirement. Well, not, he kind of came clean with his girlfriend Dana about being Batman. Immediately he was kind of thrown into action. A new Royal Flush Gang had kind of come into the picture and started robbing a museum, kind of some low-level stuff. But it turns out that they were only doing that because they were being paid to capture Batman. Batman, after one issue, took care of them. He was then confronted by the Stalker, kind of like almost like a Craven-ish type character. It turns out he was working for the same guy who wants Batman captured, and he was doing it because he had the benefactor had promised him that he would feed his village, I believe in Africa, and that's kind of where we pick up after a long fight. And again, what I like about this is you do feel a little bit of the menacing. Kind of the cogs are turning, and it really makes you kind of like, okay, I'm reading towards something, and I like that. That's what a comic book should do. So you kind of get this mysterious person, and he's pretty much talking as he's watching Batman and Stalker fight on TV about, soon you will come to know how much I despise you, Batman. I suppose I always have. It's difficult to embrace frauds who climb on a pedestal of moderate proclamation or proclaiming themselves to be superior above the rest. And so this guy obviously has it out for Batman. And then we kind of cut back to the fight. And this art, who does the art on this? Phil Hester. It's funny because it's one of those inconsistent things. Like, this looks amazing, but Barbara Gordon's face looks like something out of Family Circus. But then you get Stalker's face and like Batman, and it looks so good, and it was just like, oh, I'm gonna just throw this together. Even this panel, like, I felt like it was done in just like haste, and it's just some background stuff. Even Matt and Bruce look better than these two. So Terry's kind of giving his inner monologue about the situation, that these are camera bots kind of thing filming the tragedy. They're in a burned out a building that is on fire and pretty much about to fall, and Stalker is going to, as the cover says, unmasked. And there's a couple things for that. So he starts to unmask him, and there's some really good like predator-prey talk. He gets out of it, and Matt is now concerned for his brother. He's like, that was way too close, Mr. Wayne. Terry needs to get some help, or he can get out of this, right? And he's like, well, theoretically. So then Dana calls, being, the worrisome girlfriend, and she's like, you got to help him. Somebody has to help him. And Bruce is like, too late, and too late. She hung up. And he's like, more importantly, she's right. So Bruce is now, and that should worry people. When Bruce Wayne admits, he's like, yeah, you need help. That's when you're like, ugh, things are a little tough. And again, this is the payoff that I'm talking about. Several issues from now, I guarantee you we will see this. Matt is going to become Robin, and I like that. I think Matt, the sibling relationship between a Batman and a Robin, I think would be a very interesting kind of back and forth would happen. You have the almost like the perennial Batman figure to the younger brother Robin figure, and I can see it working very, very well. Plus, I mean, I kind of like Matt's character. He's not like he was in the cartoon. This is obviously much later than what the cartoon would have been. So everyone's a little bit older. Terry is not in high school anymore. Matt probably is about high school age. But again, they kind of keep hinting that he will be Robin. And I was hoping it would be this issue. Meanwhile, there's this vigilante who is, again, kind of going around doing Batman-y things, but obviously not Batman. She broke into Bruce Wayne's manor and stole pictures of Terry. There's definitely this feel of like a very Catwomanish vibe about her. She's not Catwoman, and they do finally show who this is, and it's a little bit of an all right payoff. But again, I like the action scenes that Phil Hester does. Some of it can be a little like, it's confusing to see where these panels, so this is 3 different panels essentially, here, here, and here, and you're getting different views, but just looking at that, it can be a lot to comprehend all at once. But then again, a good solid fight, there's some good back and forth, but then you find out who the benefactor is, and it's Payback, who they give you, and this is what I like about DC. They work people who haven't, like characters who have not been involved in a plot line or a story for some time. They work their backstory into the plot. They don't give you just a little editor note that just says, see Batman Beyond original run number 5. No, I hate that, because guess what I don't have? I don't have that book. If I had that book, I wouldn't need to know what the hell's going on. I'd already know it. I like the fact that, Terry kind of reiterates, hey, this is Payback. I fought him before. I kind of remember his name, and then he asks Bruce, and Bruce kind of gives him a rundown of like who he was, but then they're trying to figure out why all of a sudden he is kind of coming back out of, he was getting help, and now all of a sudden he's, wanting Batman dead. So it's kind of like, why the sudden shift, why you're Breaking Bad at that point. So I love how they explain all that within the story. The art continues to be pretty consistent, and I'll show this one last page because it'll show who the kind of the Catwoman-esque. It's actually 10 of the original Royal Flush Gang, who was somebody who has not been in this. They work her backstory in fairly easy into some very convenient dialogue. Her parents were the king and queen, all part of the Royal Flush Gang. That wouldn't that make her an enemy? Well, she's actually been doing pretty good, doing better, blah, 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 this and that. She really had a crush on your brother. And it's like, well, having a crush on Batman, go figure. It's like, actually, she had a crush on Terry. Right there, now I understand this character. It's not a little editor blob that says, like, if you want to know more about 10, go here. I have really been enjoying this series. It's very consistent. It gets the job done, and that's bad of me to say. It's what I've come to really expect from a lot of DC titles. It's a classic superhero comic. It gives me a little bit, makes me want to keep reading. I want to pick up the next issue. I want to see where that goes, and then there's going to be a little cliffhanger there, and then I'm going to go that. There's no arcs. There's no like crossover. This, main event that, this, that. It's just this book, and this book is simple. It's contained. There's not a lot of jumbling around that I have to deal with to follow the continuity of what's going on in this universe. But yeah, that's my 2 thoughts on that. Subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time.